Let's talk about your mental. We've talked several times on this channel about techniques that are designed to make your opponent feel a certain type of emotion, with the main ones being fear and anger that are caused from in-game events. This is referred to as emotional influence and is a core strategy in some players' arsenal. But that's not exactly what we're going to talk about today. Well, kinda, we'll probably bring it up at some point. Today I want to look away from the strategies that cause your emotions to fluctuate and actually look at the consequences. I wanted to look at players' emotions. It's probably no surprise to you that depending on how someone is feeling, it will affect how they play, but to what extent does it change things? I also wanted to look at the effect tilt has outside of the game on the player and maybe find some ways to deal with tilt and bad mental. How would I do that? With the way that I make these videos, it means that I have only 1 week to figure everything out and post a video. I could go to a bunch of researchers who are experts in their field, ask them a series of questions, compile it into a big video essay where I read back their answers to you, and cut in some random jokes about Nekowak drinking pilk or some shit, or I could do an experiment. Now, obviously the second one isn't as effective or soundproof or reliable, but come on, it makes for a way better video if I fuck around and find out for myself, right? Before we begin the experiment, it'd probably be for the best if I actually explain what the terms in the title meant for people who don't know. Okay, so someone's mental is simply a term that is used to refer to a player's actual mental state. If you're someone with a strong mental, you're able to shrug off any adversaries you'll face in a game and continue playing optimally. No one's mental is perfect, even stoic gods of the game sometimes have bursts of emotions during tense games with challenging opponents. When we start to let the problems our opponents throw at us affect us emotionally, we're more likely to enter a state known as tilt. Tilt is a state of mental or emotional confusion or frustration in which players adopt a less than optimal strategy. Thank you, Wikipedia. While originally a poker term, it applies extremely well to games as players feel extreme fluctuations of emotions when put in negative situations. The most common one is, of course, rage. Rage is something that's extremely common in competitive games. Due to half of the player base always suffering a loss at any given time, it's extremely common for players to become hostile and aggressive when going on a losing streak. If players continue to play through this anger and aggression, they're more likely to make decisions that can be seen as self-destructive. These are generally extremely poorly thought out aggressive moves that end up blowing in the player's face. But this isn't always a bad thing. All warfare is based on deception, so if you're more aggressive than your opponent expects, you could catch them off guard. Is it a viable strategy? Probably not, but who cares, it'll be fun either way. But how badly does tilt affect your play? How can you avoid tilt? When are we going to get to the experiment? Right now. For this experiment, we're going to need a willing participant whose skill will not change drastically over the course of the experiment, a controllable field in which their skills will be tested, preferably in similar ways, but we're short on time, so ignore that, where the results of the experiment can be compared and we can draw an accurate conclusion. The only variable we need to have different between the players is one needs to have a poor mental and tilt quickly, and the other needs to have strong mental and show few signs of tilt. We'll ignore the participants for later. First, let's move on to the environment we'll be playing in. We could do what we did last time we did an experiment on the channel, where we have the participant play 20 ranked matches in a given game, but that didn't go so well for us, so what else have we got? If only Europe had a stacked, weekly, well-run tournaments that we could put our participants in to see how they fare against the best in Europe. Wait, do we have that?
Salt Mine League and Salty EU, bitch!
The experiments will be simple. The players will enter both Salt Mine League and Salty EU and simply play for as long as they can, with the goal to get as far in the bracket as possible. These are both extremely stacked tournaments, with the best players in EU frequenting them regularly, so it won't be an easy task, but I'm sure our players are up to it. But who are these players? Well, there's me, and me. What, you thought I could collab with someone just like that on such short notice? This video goes out in 3 days, I don't have the time for that. This does cover some issues, but raises one big one. Thanks to the participants being the exact same person, their skill cannot come into question as long as they don't train between the two tournaments. And with the tournaments being only 2 days apart, that isn't a big ask. This also means I'm able to document all of the events extremely easily as I'm the one who participated in them and I have perfect memory. And OBS. There is one gaping hole in this approach though. How the fuck are you going to have good mental in one of the tournaments and bad mental in the other one? Oh, well that's easy. Look, I got mad lucky. You see, before Salt Mine League, I was having a pretty rough day. Without going too much into personal details, the storm that was hitting England at the time had cancelled some plans I was looking forward to, and YouTube was doing its patented, hey, this video isn't doing so hot, better make another one move. That was bumming me out. Not to mention, before I started playing in the tournament, I had a heated up pizza from the night before, and my body didn't agree with that. Literally anything could push me over the edge, so my mental was certifiably shit. Salty EU took place 2 days later, and without going into the secret on how I fixed it yet, I felt much better. This was honestly the first time in months where I felt extremely confident about just being myself and felt like I could basically do anything. Part of it may have been the sleep deprivation from staying up till 5 AM to see the Street Fighter reveal and making the best hit tweet anyone's ever seen, but I think I know what it really is. I think that by the time I finish this video, I will have found the ultimate way to combat tilt. But be warned, you may not like it. Anyway, let's start with the first experiment. Alright, it is the 19th of February. Salt Mine and Salt EU are both just started up again. I did not listen to my advice from last time, and I decided to play in a Celestial match again. I am once again tilted. As you can tell, the experiment was off to a resounding start. For those of you who have no idea what the last time I was referring to, I recorded the previous Salt Mine run I did and edited it for my Patreon, which you can find in the link below, patreon.com/GekkoSquirrel. It's pretty good. For those of you who are currently subbed to my Patreon and wondering why there isn't an edited video of this run, we'll get to it soon, don't worry. Just know that at this point, my mental is already fucked due to getting zoned out by an Axel that actually knew the Geo matchup, and I was pissed. I also had been playing other fighting games instead of Strive for a while, and it made me pretty rusty, so my confidence is already pretty low. Our first opponent was Banshee Bomb, and I'm going to let my reaction speak for itself. Fuck. Okay. Well, wish me luck, guys. And with that, the first match began. And I instantly get sent to the corner with the tech I've never seen before, and get perfected on the second round with my own character. It's not looking good. But was this enough to make me go on tilt? I did it again. Oh, fuck my life. Bruh. My defense was atrocious, and my offense wasn't any better. I was failing to do basic stagger pressure, giving up my turn when I really didn't need to, and worst of all, I felt so defeated that I tabbed out of the game to go to Discord to report the results before the match was even over. I thought it was over. I'm not gonna lie, I instantly tabbed out to Discord. Like, I just straight went to Discord. I genuinely thought it was over. I did a Washigo, like the opposite way around. And looking back, I have to be honest, this wasn't even that embarrassing of a loss. I nearly took the first round off of them, and I was dealing with their pressure somewhat nicely. There really was no reason for me to get so tilted and defeated at this match, but I think the second round perfect just got to me. Oh my god. I think that's the most demoralizing loss I've ever taken. Genuinely. I got fucking 3-0'd by my own character, and I didn't even get to play the game. As you can tell, I was really going through it. Anyway, looking back at this match, we can see that I simply gave up in situations I wouldn't and shouldn't have while I was feeling tilted because I believed that the loss was already guaranteed. While my opponent was definitely doing stuff I didn't know how to deal with, I truly believe I defeated myself more than anything in this match. I was feeling so negative, I almost cried. But hey, there's always the losers bracket. There's one more chance for me to bring this back and get myself a fat dub, is what I say now, but at the time it wasn't so true. Well, we're already in losers bracket, so that's fun. Oh my fuck. I'm gonna fucking cry, actually. Bruh. Why am I so bad? Jesus, shut up, you whining bitch. As you can see, I'm really fucking going through it right now. I started my next match and I was already tilted. It's a pot player. Whoo! Please be low rank, please be low rank, please. It's a Celestial pot player. Okay. It's fine though, they lost their first match and won like a quarter of my level. Surely, this one has to be in the bag despite my poor mental state. To begin with the first round, I was feeling good. Despite a poor burst, I was able to put some pressure and keep the match relatively even, despite some poor defensive choices. I even took a round, which was good. The second round wasn't as promising. After failing to deal with a Mega Fist, I tried to reclaim my mental. I just need a detail. I'm so fucking tilted. I'll let you guess if that worked. That hit me! Oh my god. That Mega Fist actually hit me. I hate my life. Oh my god! Oh my fucking... Ah! By this point, I was practically bathing in my own soul. The amount that I was seething would be considered a dangerous level by the World Health Organization. Then, this happened. This is when something in me snapped. I had been completely defeated at this moment. I had lost the battle in-game and the war in my mind. My body filled with nothing but salt and rage. I was now in a situation where they went to go and land a double Garuda and then conditioned me into getting hit with a heavenly. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed release. I needed something to take my anger out on. And my poor keyboard was the only thing in front of me. It was also at this time I realized my flatmate was in the house. Sorry, Maya. Despite abusing my peripherals, I was able to take her around, but it was too late. My neutral at this point was in shambles, and I get hit with a Potemkin Buster. After throwing another fit like a giant man-child, I drop this one-liner, it's getting fucking bullshit, and Alt F4 the game. My second Salt Mine League run had me going 0-2 and leaving me with enough rage to deck a horse. I spent the rest of the day sitting in my chair watching the tournament on stream and trying to hide how salty I was about it. The commentators were very nice and even congratulated me on 20k, which made me feel pretty bad for how I acted during the tournament. Just Dave, if you're watching this, I love you, man. Thanks for being so nice. Despite me being a massive man baby, I do believe Salt Mine is one of the best EU tournaments you could enter, and I recommend anyone who's looking to compete and strive, Tekken 7, or Street Fighter 5 to consider joining. Getting your ass kicked is actually pretty good for you sometimes. Depending on, well, my schedule, I'll probably be playing in it again next week. If you're not in the EU, I recommend checking out their stream while they're playing because the matches are fucking sick. I just want Europe to be considered a good region. Come on, we gotta market ourselves somehow. So in our first experiment, what did we find? Well, I got so tilted after the first match that I generally gave up and played sloppy. I would drop pressure and combos when I didn't need to, and would fall for baits that my enemies set me up for. I also did structural damage to my equipment and scared my housemate. Overall, not a good look. Let's see how I did with a positive mindset.
Alright, so today is Monday the 21st. Today, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fucking sick. I was dancing around my kitchen. I was fucking like singing to the Gilligan music. I was like fucking screaming Zardos theme at the top of my lungs. I did some shopping. I did some cleaning. I'm feeling good.
As you can see, we're already off to a much better start. Due to events on the weekend, I was feeling much more confident and happy with myself. I had began to work on aspects of myself that I've been meaning to for a long time, and I even did a massive shop to get things we needed for several weeks. This also gives me the opportunity to eat good healthy food that should help me from not feeling like crap while playing. All in all, a good start. Such a good start in fact that I spent the first half an hour of this recording playing against an AI to warm up, and I was having a blast. By the time the tournament came around, I was more than prepared for whatever my opponent was going to do to me, even if I was still a little rusty. There were some complaints though. My opponent's name in the bracket was different to their name in Discord, and they were not sending a location for me, so I had to find them. For 5 agonizing minutes, I was trying to figure out how to get in contact with my opponent, and I need to be real, it wasn't doing any good for my mental. You can already tell from the recording that I was feeling much better though. No moaning or complaining, just cold, calculated silence.
This is like easy match, easy match.
I take a pretty devastating loss round 1 with my opponent landing a sick combo on me, but do I let that shake me? Of course fucking not. Who do you think you're talking to?
Okay, I can beat this guy.
Second round was extremely close. I fucked up breaking the wall by accidentally throwing, and my opponent proceeded to do the sole bad guy special of fuck you, your health bar is cream. Granted, I could have not dash buttoned into the 6S, but I'm a Geo player, it's what we do. With the wall broken, I had to move carefully in order to win this round. And not only did I win, I fucking styled on this bitch.
Let's go! What did I fucking say?
I then had another shaky start to the round, but with being the absolute god gamer that I am, I'm able to read my opponent like a book and shit on their defense. Woo! God, I'm fucking good. I would like to say that I kept that momentum with me for the next round, but unfortunately this is where things start to go downhill. See, like any good Soul player, this man loves using his DP at the strangest times during my block strings, meaning that I need to keep my pressure air fucking tight and rely on side switches to mess with the inputs. Guess what I didn't do?
Oh, that's death. Yeah, this man absolutely fucking loves stealing turns, so we're gonna have to solve that.
As you can tell, I was tilting a little, but not enough to destroy my iron will. I think this is when I made the stupidest play of my Strive career.
Yeah, I got sick. That was fucking dumb.
Now, I can explain. What I thought was going to happen is that Sol was going to do something that would advance him forward. I wanted to dash into the range where the blue RC would connect, then dash out to slow him for an easy combo. And he didn't do that, and I panicked and jumped in. Not the smartest move, but it's all good. Would this be enough to tilt me over the edge and send me back to abusing my peripherals? No, I actually took it pretty well.
Okay, I can still win this. I just need to calm down. I'm pressing in really weird situations. I just need to start playing way more defensive.
As you can see, I wasn't as phased as I was in the last tournament, but that didn't mean I was gonna do well.
That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, make sure you don't do down forward after dash inputs, because this could happen. Despite the sloppy first round, the second round went much better. Woo!
I'm dead. I panicked.
Well, it was better, wasn't it? I let out a sigh of disappointment and tried to look on the brighter side of things.
Alright, well, I mean, we got a game, which is good.
With the first game lost, I was already in the loser's bracket and had to wait for my opponent's match to start so I could find my opponent. Because of the way the tournament was set up, I had to wait for 2 entire matches to complete before I could play my next match. I then waited, and I shit you not, 20 fucking minutes for those matches to conclude and for me to find my next opponent. I had enough time to drill combos, watch replays for every match, and even get into a call with one of my friends to stream my matches to them.
Oh my god, you got fucking beat them.
Yeah. Sol's
but
entire
you're gonna
thing
take
is he
it
can
back,
take half
aren't
of
you?
your health off of like one small hit. So you kind of
Take it
gotta.
all back, aren't you?
Yeah.
Finally, I went to find my opponent.
It's the witch lady.
Yeah, it's the evil witch lady. Oh fuck! No! Well,
No, it's okay,
I've
you
lost. That's round one. That's round one. That's round one.
Okay, Chief, I'm gonna be real, this ain't looking good. Despite getting absolutely fucked in the first game, I kept a positive mindset and went into the second. It was pretty similar, but I learned something about the matchup, so, that's a win, right?
I didn't know she could do that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Despite that, I kept a positive mindset and went fucking ham.
I'm gonna fucking just go in.
This was the closest to death I ever got this Eno, and it felt fucking good. Unfortunately for me, though, I couldn't adjust in time and got fucking floored. But I wasn't salty, if anything. I was in a decent mood.
Fuck. Alright. Well, that's my tournament.
What, are you out?
Yeah, I'm out. That's it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Aw.
I didn't win a single game. It is what it is. There's always next week.
There's no physical or verbal abuse to my equipment. I was not screaming and didn't storm off like a child. I simply shrugged it off and went to watch my friend play Danganronpa V3 on Discord. Hell, I even felt okay with losing. Pretty good about it, maybe. I took a game off that one Soul player and I nearly got that Eno to give up a round. These people aren't impossible to beat. I just need to get stronger first. And that's the real benefit of having good mental. It doesn't directly increase your skill, but it helps you improve quicker by being able to focus on the bigger picture and realizing that the losses right now are temporary. You just need to get better first. Plus, it helps you keep calm in tense situations. Did you think I'd be able to make that combat versus Sol if I was salty about how much damage the combo did? Of course not. I just run into more of his moves, but I stayed calm and was able to take the round back, which let me win the game. But how did I do it? These two recordings are 2 days apart. How did I improve my mental so much that I was able to shrug all of this off? Well, remember the plans that were cancelled due to the storm I was talking about? Some of us still wanted to do something despite the original plans falling through. So we met up in the cold and rain and we went to the pub and talked for 4 hours. That's it. That got me out of my shit mental. A good night out with the boys, just chilling and chatting it up. We didn't even talk about that much deep stuff. We were just joking about and chatting shit for most of it. If it wasn't for that, I generally don't think I would have won that match against Sol, as ridiculous as it sounds. Sometimes you need to take yourself out of an environment and get away from all the issues for a bit. It's just a game at the end of the day. Sure, it feels great to win and shit to lose, but at some point, those L's are going to start turning into W's if you let them. So yeah, the biggest secret to getting your mental better is to go touch some fucking grass!